Good evening, I'm John Batchelor. This is the John Batchelor Show. We have breaking news from Asia. One piece of the breaking news continues with the downward trend of the Chinese economy. That is significant because the economy's decline has been coterminous with the aggression and the tyrannical behavior of the Chinese Communist Party to its own citizens and to its neighbors. The second piece of news involves the United States directly, and I welcome Gordon Chang, a Forbes.com contributor here, to comment. Gordon, a very good evening to you. You sent me this just moments ago. This is a CNN report saying that an American aircraft, surveillance aircraft, flying at the lowest at 15,000 feet within miles of artificial constructions in the South China Sea by the PLA Navy, that aircraft was warned away by a Chinese voice speaking in English. The recording at CNN, according to this report, the Chinese speaker said, "This is the Chinese Navy. This is the Chinese Navy. Please go away to avoid misunderstanding." Gordon, this is a confrontation. Are we ready for this? Where are we going with this? Good evening to you.
Good evening, John. What we're doing is preserving freedom of navigation, which has been the only consistent American foreign policy over the course of 2 centuries. The Chinese, by building these islands in the South China Sea, is claiming territorial water. That is not permitted under international law. And the United States is flying its planes near those islands to tell the Chinese that this is indeed international airspace. This is a confrontation. This is going to get serious. But at some point, the Chinese had to expect this because they were pushing everybody much too far.
We welcome Stephen Yates, chairman of the Idaho Republican Party, CEO of DC International Advisory, who served in the Bush administration. He was at the office of the Vice President, Dick Cheney. Stephen, a very good evening to you. We were all prepared for you. This is a party here. HSBC number is awful. That's an ugly number for the Chinese people, for the economy, for the Communist Party, trying to bull its way past the decline. But now this confrontation, there's no ambiguity about a voice saying this is the Chinese Navy and challenging American surveillance aircraft. Are we back to August of 2001? Are we going all the way back to the spring of 2001? Are we going all the way back to the confrontation with China for the first Bush administration? Good evening to you, Stephen.
Good evening, John. Yes, well, in some ways, this is a movie we've seen before. And as Gordon was saying, very true, this is one of the consistent things where the United States is out there. Basically, there is no international law except for the power that says that the law is going to be maintained. And so the United States has been there consistently to assert freedom of navigation. And in recent years, China has been there consistently to challenge the United States on that. It often involves ships coming up and meeting other ships where they'll spray one another with hoses, or sometimes it gets more serious. And of course, the worst incident is the one you refer to, which is April Fool's Day of 2001, when one of the Chinese aircraft collided with ours and the crew went down, miraculously landing on Hainan Island. It's aggressive behavior. The Russians do it. It happened during the Cold War as well. The Iranians are beginning to challenge some things in their area of the world. So it's not as if this kind of thing happens in isolation. People see weakness. It's a test of wills. And right now, the Chinese sense that they've got the advantage.
Gordon?
Stephen, what's significant here is that you have the Obama administration, which has really tried to make way for the Chinese, to be cooperative and accommodative, now is really pushing the Chinese in ways which are much more consistent with American foreign policy. Also, we have the Navy, which has traditionally been very, very pro-China, now seems to be taking a view which is very much confrontational. What do you make of all this? Why is this occurring, and why now?
Well, I see it as reactive. I mean, the thing that's most striking to me is that Secretary Kerry was just in China. And usually the Chinese are exceedingly sensitive to anything that is said or done by us before and immediately after a visit. And by way of projection, when they do things that are seemingly deliberately provocative before and after a visit, it's a signal to us as well. And so you see basically around the visit of Secretary Kerry to China and East Asia, the North Koreans acting in a provocative way, the Chinese challenging our freedom of navigation, and this is happening right after Secretary Kerry's talking about welcoming Xi Jinping to come to the United States in September. And so it shows me that the United States government and the Chinese government are dramatically out of sync.
The Chinese Navy, this is the Chinese Navy, this is the Chinese Navy, please go away to avoid misunderstanding. The United States Navy, does it answer, Stephen? Does it put a warship within 2 miles of these phony islands? Does it fly directly over the island and dare the Chinese to shoot?
Traditionally, we do not yield on freedom of navigation. Of course, there's discretion about when and how it's asserted and defended, but freedom of navigation on the high seas is one of those core principles that has always been affirmed by every administration of the United States, also along with many, many of our allies. And so I think that we have this notion of a 12-mile reach beyond your shores, and that's basically what the Chinese are trying to extend by creating new islands, and thereby extending 12 miles beyond that as a new range in all the territory, the waters between this new claim and the mainland of China as being their territorial waters. It's very controversial. We, along with allies, really have no choice but to exercise that freedom of navigation, or we will lose it.
Gordon, this started when we watched Scarborough Shoals be taken by the Chinese and did nothing. The Obama administration has license to respond for Scarborough Shoals, and it still has not. Will it respond for this?
Well, I think that it probably will, because what we're seeing is a rapid change in the administration's posture towards the Chinese. Getting this close to the islands, ignoring the Chinese demands, I think is very much a step in the right direction. It's what the region wants, and as Steve has pointed out, this is the core U.S. policy. And, we're starting to see India as well stand up to the Chinese. This is going to be very important when you have the world's most powerful democracy and its most populous one working together to contain the Chinese. This is really spectacular. We couldn't have seen this a year or two ago.
I'm going to be difficult, Stephen. I don't believe it. I do not believe the Obama administration will stand up to China. It has not stood up to any other adversary these last years. Ramadi's in the hands of savages. You hardly hear it mentioned at the White House, Stephen. So now we're going to believe the Obama administration is going to stand up to 1 billion people?
Well, unfortunately, I think some of the skepticism is warranted in that this is a test of wills. The only way this freedom of navigation ultimately is enforced is when one side decides that it's not willing to risk a collision. And a collision is what will occur at some point when you have these contested intercepts of freedom of navigation missions. And so if we, right now we have the institution of the United States Navy, which I do believe will have backbone on this, that will run up against what the strategic demands are of the Commander-in-Chief and his administration. And right now they're talking trade, they're talking North Korea, they're talking Iran negotiations, they're even talking climate change. And I don't see anywhere in that realm of priorities that they want to really risk conflict. And the way they tend to see as avoiding conflict is concession.
Gordon, we did not flag that HSBC number, but that's part of this story, isn't it?
Well, it is. What we saw was the HSBC number flash index for May was 49.1, indicating contraction. This is like the third straight month of contraction. It's really the Chinese economy is on a fast downward trajectory. Things are very serious in China right now. And you also have problems in the political system. The military is becoming much more powerful. This is a country that is going rogue.
This is the Chinese Navy. This is the Chinese Navy. Please go away to avoid misunderstanding. Gordon Chang, Forbes.com contributor, Stephen Yang, the chief of the Idaho Republican Party, as well as a man who served the Bush administration, Vice President Cheney, the last time the Chinese attacked the United States Navy. I'm John Batchelor.